Well, hello, welcome back to Tail 3 Cabins. Heading down to Southern Ohio again. I'm a little bit frustrated as I'm coming down here. I was awaiting 3 packages from FedEx and 1 from Amazon that were supposed to show up today. And I actually postponed coming down here to Southern Ohio a day, thinking these packages were scheduled to arrive today. Well, the Amazon package is late. That's not going to show up till tomorrow. And I got one of the packages, one that really didn't matter to me, and then there were 2 others that I really needed to bring down here. Neither one of those showed up. They were supposed to show up today, but they didn't. I waited around till about 4:30, eventually just packing up the car and left. Don has already come down here. He started cutting grass earlier this afternoon. It's been pretty warm. As I'm coming down, you can kind of see the sky's pretty dark here, and we are heading into some bad weather. Don gave me a call just a little while ago saying that there was a pretty good storm coming in. If you notice that right on my butt is a 275-gallon tote. Would have showed footage of Karen and I picking it up, but it was a pretty good rainstorm where we bought it from. He did the whole transaction over a security camera. He never showed up. It was really just over security camera and the telephone. The tote that I got had a little bit of damage to the base of it, so he took some money off on that. I got it home, put it on the forks of the tractor, got it up off the ground so I could play around with it and try to do a little bit of body work on it. I needed to take a ratchet strap just to try to straighten out the frame on the bottom. And then to try to reattach the 2 pipes together down there, I used a little persuader with a mallet. Got that together, held it together with the ratchet strap temporarily. I drilled a couple metal screws into it. That all seemed to go okay. I drilled a couple more metal screws. I sheared off the screws that I put in just so they would not gouge the bed of my truck or get hung up on anything. I just sheared the heads off, and I think that should be all right. They're not going to back out or anything. They're in there pretty snug. Took some measurements so I could get the proper fitting so I can attach a garden hose to the outlet here. Now I got a bleach solution inside a little canister. I'm going to clean this out with some bleach. So I picked up a few different fittings from Amazon, so I have a couple choices if one should break. This one is more of a compression fitting. They are all around $10 each. If you decide you're going to get a tote for your own personal usage, I'll leave a link down below. And then I found that I had one buried away from an old tote that we got rid of from work, and I pilfered the fitting for it, and I still had it, and it does work. So if something should accidentally break, I have a few backup plans. The base still seems a little bit flimsy. I did take some measurements because I have one in my garden, and if need be, I could always take the cage out of that, which is in pretty good shape, and it's the same size. So the reason I'm bringing the tote down here is we're going to try to clean out that water tank, and once we get that cleaned out, we're going to start replacing the water with some fresh water. So a lot of things happening down here. It's a little bit of a heat wave going on right now. We had temperatures in the 90s. It's actually down into the mid 70s right now because of the storms in the area. It's supposed to still be warm the rest of the week down here. It's actually getting a little bit cooler up north where I just left. We're not going to try to kill ourselves down here. I'll be in that tank and it's very humid in there, although it will be a little bit cooler. I've done it before and I don't look forward to it, but you got to do what you got to do. So I had the tote in the back. I put about 50 to 80 gallons in it just to have a little bit of fresh water in case we need it in the meantime, just for cleaning stuff out, cleaning out that water tank, and then we'll go get some water drops. Now this tote is considered food grade. I believe it had vinegar in it, but it didn't really smell like vinegar. I don't know if it was already cleaned out or flushed out. One thing I'm kind of curious is just how much of a load this is going to be. Right now, there's not a lot of water in it, and it's not, I knew it was going to be sloshing around a little bit, but it's not enough that it's going to affect my ride in the truck. But when I fill this thing up with 2 tons of water, 2,400 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood. So the roads are a little bit twisty, windy, so I'm a little curious just how having 2 tons in the bed is going to be. But it will be interesting to see how this truck handles 2,400 gallons of water in a tote back there. You might be wondering why I'm not getting a water drop, because every water drop I paid for has gotten dirty or tainted since we've had the new house up and running. We did have a good period of time where the water stayed clean, and we had about 3/4 of a tank of fresh water left in there. And when I came down to the cabin in late January, February, that the water was dirty, that it had leached in there. And if you watch previous videos, you know that I spent the last couple weeks cleaning up that tank, digging it up, cleaning it up, waterproofing it, sealing it up real nice, putting some drain tile in there, and just trying to alleviate our problems with mud leaching into that tank. So I'm crossing my fingers it's good, but I didn't want to pay for a water drop and have another issue where we waste $100, $125 to get delivery of water. To go into town, it costs $1 per 100 gallons. So let's just say I put $3 worth of water in this tank. So that's $3. It's going to be a gallon of gas there and a gallon of gas back. So we're looking at $9. And then if you figure that I would need 5 deliveries to fill up that tank, we're somewhere around $45. If I were to have a water delivery, it would be around $100 to $125. When they come out, they deliver 2,000 gallons, and I can only get 1,400 in that tank. So I've always turned away 600 gallons, but I still have to pay for it. Now with this tote, if things work out and I do get a water delivery, I'll use the tote in addition to the 1,400 gallons. So I can at least get 1,700 gallons out of the 2,000 gallons and not feel too bad about turning some of that water away. So that is what's going on right now. I should be down here in a little bit. There are some pretty nasty rain clouds that I'm heading into. This road's a little bit wet, but I think I missed the bulk of it. Well, I'm just going to get here, get settled, get unpacked, and I'll probably see you tomorrow morning when we start cleaning out the tank. One of the packages I was waiting for was a fitting on the top here to use this sprinkler pump, and I thought this pump might empty out the tanks quicker once we get it full of water. I decided to change my sump pump just before I left home because I had a brand new one sitting there, and I used a new one last time I'd emptied the tank out, but I wanted to replace my sump pump with the new one. I didn't know how old the current one was. I know it was very old, so I took that one out and I brought that one down instead. So there's the new one installed. I got the old one ready to go, but it's going to need a little bit of a cleaning first. Alright, we started pumping water out and then the sump pump just quit. Looks like that ground fault on the outlet here tripped. I'll try it one more time. And it just tripped again. I pulled out a power station, thinking that maybe the ground fault was too sensitive on the outlet, and the power station did just fine. Yeah, I don't know. So we could get out as much water as possible. We tied a rope to the float, and that way it'll keep the pump going, even though the water is getting lower. I am a little concerned about going down there and using that sump pump because of possible electrocution.
We're the ones that has your number. Any man forgets his number spends a night in the box. Any man loses his spoon spends a night in the box. Last bell is at 8. Any man not in his bunk at 8 spends a night in the box.
Good luck down there.
Man caught smoking in the prone position in bed spends a night in the box.
Good thing it's a
You
hot
get
day.
2 sheets.
Yeah, I'm just looking around.
About 10 more of those.
Little ways to go. How much is left in the 5-gallon bucket? There should be a lot in there.
There's a little more than that. Let me get it out of the way.
Just don't
them coming toward me. Coming up.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going.
Oh.
Better?
Yeah, looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I like when I get the bed stand. That means I've killed my big buck.
What year is this?
59. You went back to the future. I'm going back.
Man,
Didn't
did that
even
jump
move.
up.
It did not even move.
Holy smokes.
That's it.
Might have to wait in town when we get that water. Apparently the touch pay or the credit card is not working for this water dispenser. Got another $1?
Yeah. Stop at 100 gallons then. That front end looking.
Should the wheels be on the ground?
Makes it easier to steer that way.
Yeah.
What's your gauge and them things say?
It's halfway, a little over halfway. Don't forget you're back there. Yeah. Fill up a water bottle or anything real quick? Ellen.
That's gonna be first, huh? Thing was coming out over the top.
Huh?
The water was coming out of the top.
Oh, when you were filling it?
Yeah. So.
Contact. Gotta do the main one too. I shut off both valves. $11.58. Okay, we are coming up on 52 minutes, 52 and a half minutes, and we are almost empty. Looks like it's going to take 1 hour. 1 hour to drain this tank. I bet you if I had my sprinkler pump ready to go, which is down here, but the fitting got eaten by mice, I might cut that time in half. Test that out another time. Alright, so that was our first tank of water. I'm on my way to get the second. And it took about an hour to drain that tank. Apparently the water machine, it gives you the option to use the touch pay or your credit card. It didn't seem like that was working. Right now it's taking dollar bills. We only used $2 to fill up that tank. It seemed like the first dollar went quite a ways. It was much more than 100 gallons, if that is a 275 gallon tank. So the second dollar, we didn't have to use the whole thing. Maybe it has something to do with the previous person. So maybe since I didn't use all 100 gallons this second time around, maybe that extra whatever 50 gallons goes to the next person. I'm heading down alone, so the truck will be a little bit lighter on the way back. We were pretty close to maxing out the capacity of this truck. I did check with a 7.3 liter Super Duty forum on Facebook and asked the question. I was going to be carrying one of these totes, and it was going to be about 2,400 pounds of water. And did anybody ever try that or see if there's any issues with that? And everybody was pretty positive about it. They just said haul away. One thing I was concerned about, though, is the twists and turns of these roads down here. The main road off the freeway, or just after I leave where I pick up the water, is not bad. It's pretty straight, just gradual turns. But once I turn off of that, it gets pretty windy. So I took it kind of easy, even though the road is rated for 55 miles per hour. I kind of hovered around 40. If anybody got behind me, I waved them to go around. But all in all, the truck did good. All right, so that's where we're sitting. There's no passenger this time. And we got a little bit of room to spare. I filled it all the way to the top. It only took $1 this time. Last time we used $2, so we're kind of ahead of the game. We thought we'd be using $3 each trip. And that load was a lot lighter for some reason. Only took $1.
Really?
Yeah, it was flown over the top.
$1?
Yeah.
Must have owed you from last time.
It's kind of what I'm wondering, if maybe we put that last dollar in and we only use 100 gallons, that maybe the next guy got it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he left some in there. Maybe he put
I don't know.
5 in there.
I don't know how it works, but I filled up the whole thing. It was just $1. Got enough clean water in the tank where I can turn the pump back on, and one more thing to do before we start running water in the house. Where you at? Yeah, you gotta take that one out, rinse it out. Okay. We're gonna let the maybe sun start coming down a little bit about 6 o'clock or so. Finish up some stuff outside, clean things up a little bit, put the hot water heater on and take some showers tonight. So, all right, let's get moving. Okay, it's trip number 3. I just checked the radar and we got some storms coming in, but I think I can get into town, which is about a 20-25 minute ride, get it loaded up, which takes about 10 minutes, and then get back here, which is a little bit longer ride, about 30-35 minutes. And I think this storm will be on my butt once I'm making my way back. Beats trying to do this in the rain. This will be the third and final trip for the day. Debate. Don's leaving tomorrow morning. I'll debate whether or not we leave the tote in the back of the truck, and maybe I'll just do one more or maybe even 2 more trips on my own, just depending how things are going, how hot it is, what else needs to be done. Things are working out okay. I'm still happy with the truck, the way it handled. I came back a little bit quicker than the first trip just to get a little bit more comfortable with it, and it didn't work out too bad. You know, I don't want to get too crazy. You never know. There's always, even in the daytime, a deer can jump out of you in front of you here. You might have to slam on the brakes for something. You don't want to get too relaxed. I've never really hauled that much weight in a pickup truck before. Do your lid.
I did most of the cleanup. A lot of stuff's packed up because in case it would have started raining.
Yeah. All right, that was my fourth and final trip. I ended up pulling straight in, maneuvered things around here a little bit so I didn't back in. It was kind of tight with the hose. That way I could get everything out of here. Usually if I'm backed in, there's a little bit of an angle here. You know, I don't know, maybe it was like equivalent of 30 gallons or something like that. It was always left in the bottom, and this way it looks like everything actually came out and drained nicely. Well, we can put another check in the pro column for getting a F-250 or Super Duty. It comes in handy for heavy loads. Everything worked out good. So this will come in handy in the future with maintaining our water. Hopefully the tank stays clean. It's nice on one aspect that I don't have to schedule a delivery and wait for it. Could be a week or 2 weeks out depending. Where this I could do at my leisure, but then again, it's still a pain. I mean, I have to put this tank in here, strap it down, drive a half hour into town, take 10 minutes to fill this tank up, half hour back, and then dump it. So the process is about 2 hours for each load. You know, once I get the tank somewhat filled, we're probably about 3/4 right now, maybe a little bit more than that. I think I want to leave it at that level, so it's going to be easy to monitor. If it should go up for some reason, then we're leaching stuff into there. And if it should get dirty, we should be able to look at it closely and tell. But in the future, if things work out, we could try to tap into that spring. Thinking of using this tank as a quality control measure, that we would put the water from the spring into here. If it looks okay, it's not dirty or anything like that, no sediment, we'd send it on its way down into the, we'll just see how it plays out. We'll let this go through hunting season, cross our fingers, everything's gonna work out. But that is gonna do it for today. I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe these videos. Click on that little bell when you wanna know when a new one's coming out, and keep an eye on us. It would be nice if it cooled off a little bit.